And welcome inside episode 61 of the Breaking Bats podcast presented by Not For Long Media. My name is Justin Ayers, and we have a full house today. The boys are back in town because Colin and Jack are here to help me do a little college baseball, little World Baseball Classic baseball too. I love it. We're ripping and rolling on a Tuesday night, boys. It's good to see you. How's everybody doing?
Justin, I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing, Justin?
It's good, man. Like I said, it's been, I don't know if last time, I don't think on this podcast, we haven't had the three of us. I've had Colin on a couple times, but anytime I can be graced by the presence of Mr. Jack Connell, it's always a good day. So
it is a good day. And usually the great Jack Connell says, when I call him, when, Not For Long Media is burning down, and it's like, Jack, what's going on here? And Jack says, I'm doing splendid. How are you, Colin? He always says that. So it's always the highlight of my day. And I use splendid, or whenever we talk once a week. Whatever that is, twice a week. Jack in the back says, I'm doing splendid. So I'm splendid, Justin, to be here. USA currently is not doing too hot in the World Baseball Classic. We're going to get into that, but they start off the first inning like, oh boy, they're going to smoke this team. I mean, they look like they were going to just come out gangbusters on them. They've been sliding out a little bit, but lots to discuss. It's been like my wife, our friends, male, female, whether you're into baseball or not, a lot of people are into this World Baseball Classic. I'd be shocked to see if the numbers were down. I'm interested to see what the numbers are going to look like, because there's a lot of different people, kind of like college basketball in a way, coming in to talk about it that usually don't. I mean, like I said, I've had people come up to me and talk to me about baseball that never bring it up. So exciting stuff.
And that's kind of where I wanted to start was with the World Baseball Classic. Like I said, it's Tuesday night. We're taping this. The USA's down 3-1 to Japan in the sixth. By the time you're listening to this, you guys will obviously know the result of that game. Trey Turner, another home run. So shout out him. We'll talk about him in a second. But the tournament itself has been like, it's been a very contentious at some points tournament, but also like, I think overall positive. It stirred up quite the debate online about whether or not people should be like paying attention to it or caring about this tournament. It only happens once every 3 years, and it's kind of a new thing. It's not like the Olympics that's been around for generations, but you have like injuries, like the Mets closer Edwin Diaz, like he tore his like patella tendon in his knee, and Jose Altuve got hit in his thumb. Like there's like implications that reach far outside of like what you would normally think about this stuff. And like I said, on Twitter, it's just been a hotbed of debate. People like, nobody cares about the World Baseball Classic. So I have a two-part question. I'll start with Colin. Exhibition games that don't count against like your schedule. These games don't really mean anything like in terms of like the World Series or the regular baseball season. Guys are getting hurt. Do you think it's worth the risk?
1,000% worth the risk. There is no better thing to get you ready to play this season than competition you're not familiar with, competition at the highest level, competition on national TV, competition in front of sold out stadiums. It's like they're picking up right where they left off with the playoffs. So I am firmly all in on the World Baseball Classic. Very similar to clubs that are worried about, during NHL, right in the middle of the season when teams go away for the Olympics, and like Alexander Ovechkin's going to play for Russia, say, and here comes Ovi back. It's like, if he gets hurt, the Caps are done, right? Like they're not going to win without Ovi. So it's that debate. But my opinion, it's the preseason. It's a much different thing than the middle of the season. So if guys get dinged up, most injuries, 4 to 6 weeks, Bryce Harper's missing a bulk of the Phillies season. These rosters now are loaded with players, the really good ones. So I don't think it's a problem, Justin. I think it's awesome. And you get to represent your country. So like, I think this for the NHL All-Star game, they should make it based off your country. So Canada, USA, Russia, whomever, they should all play. Sweden, they should do. This is what this baseball game is. It's an all-star game. You get to see talent from around the world. You get to bring more eyes to the United States in baseball. So I'm all for it. I think they should all play in it. And I think it's a great way to get ready for the season. That's what it's all about.
I tend to lean that way too. Just because like there is something special about representing your country, whether it be the USA across your chest or, Japan across your chest, like it does mean more, but also like this tournament has only been around for the last like 20 years or something like that. It's not that old of a tournament. There's not like the history of the game that goes into this one. So it's like, I can kind of get it where people are like, may not be 100% lockstep with what we're talking about. But the numbers don't lie. And I was looking at some of the numbers from these World Baseball Classic games, and it's like 55 million people are tuning in. It's like the highest rated baseball games of all time, more than World Series. Like Jack, when you think about growing the game, to try to get people like, yourself or people of our generation and Colin's generation to try to tune in and watch these games, like, does the World Baseball Classic excite you? Do you think that would get a non-baseball fan interested?
I think it is. Just anytime there's just like like we'll say from like my perspective, like America, like people like that I know that don't normally watch baseball. It's like, oh, America's playing England. And it's just like the 1776 memes. It like gets people to watch the games, making the finals, and encourages people to watch games. So just that national pride, I think, is the biggest driving force behind it. But obviously the issues with the injuries and stuff have caused a debate amongst fans, but any debate about the World Baseball Classic, in my opinion, is good debate because it just brings more attention towards it.
What if a guy gets hurt in spring training, right? And that's what you're going to bring up too, Jay. I'm sure is okay. He rolls his ankle rounding first base in spring training, and really in spring training, are you really that dialed in? Is it a high pressure moment? Are you worried about getting hurt? These moments, like I'll never forget as a kid, John Runyon, the Eagles right tackle, he'd always say like, you get hurt when you go half speed. And it's happened to me in my career, like in Carolina, I'm a little sore in practice. It's late in the season. You go half speed, boom, all of a sudden your ankle rolls and you're like, John Runyon was right in 1996 when I heard that. So I think it's great points by Jack. I'll answer the question that you just answered him, Justin, even though you didn't ask me it. Do you want to know about the ratings? My wife, who watches no baseball unless Houston's in the playoffs, she's upstairs watching the game. I'm like, you going to put your show on? She's like, no, I'm turning up the volume. I was like, ooh, okay. So to me, that's my parameters, like who's in my circle, who's not into whatever we're talking about. And if they're into it, then to me, viewership's up. And obviously the numbers are huge too.
It's huge internationally too. Like these games in Japan are like the most watched games of all time, getting like 50, 60 million people watching. And like the stadiums are sold out. It's just like a great buzz, great atmosphere, which is cool to see. But yeah, like the injury thing, it literally like it just can happen anytime. Like Edwin Diaz got hurt jumping up and down. So
yeah. And my question to you, Jay, because you're pretty dialed into the overseas baseball market, especially with Brian playing in multiple leagues and obviously hosting the show. Why aren't some of these guys playing in the majors?
It's a good point. I think like internationally, like I know in Japan they have a posting process. So if you play in like the Nippon Professional Baseball League, the NPB, it's like you have to go through like what Shohei Ohtani did. Yet like it's a different set of circumstances. It's not like just like international free agency. Like your club that owns you in that league has to like put you up and like I don't know. It's a whole different like as opposed to like an amateur free agent. But I just like how in some of these countries teams, it's like they have people that haven't played Major League Baseball in 5 years and have been sitting on their couch. Like, is it Danny Valencia? I don't think he's played professional baseball, but he's played, or Vance Worley hasn't played in the majors, Jack's guy, in a little bit. So, yeah, they just like anybody who's associated is just like they throw up the bat signal and they put on the uniform. It's great.
Get it off your chest, Jack. Just talk about the Great Britain. Zach, get it off your chest, Jack. Just talk about the Great Britain uniforms.
Well, Great Britain. Well, the thing is, Great Britain ends up leading into my team recap. So it's a whole long story. If we're
all right, great. I'll just shut the hell up and let Justin run the show. Thank you, Justin. I'm sorry.
Jack, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So for those unaware, I don't think I've really revealed my team. We talked about Texas. I will cover Texas a little bit, but Vance Worley, alongside being a legendary pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies, is the pitching coach at my current school, Penn State Abington, who I'm very close with the entire baseball team and staff. So, of course, we were tuned in to see Vance Worley strike out Mike Trout, but that was overshadowed, in my opinion, by Great Britain deciding to run to the nearest outlet mall and creating their jerseys, or just going MLB The Show and typing in Great Britain. It's not even the fact that it's just Great Britain and just bold-faced like Times New Roman. It's the fact that you have to squint to see that it says Great Britain. And it's a terrible jersey. I'm sorry. I will get into my good jersey of the week, but it was just a downright terrible jersey choice. But
it's very, very generic. It's pretty funny.
So I don't think it's blue and white or like red and white, I think, or like they're two. You could not get more generic. I don't know how you could get.
To be fair to Great Britain, like their baseball program I was reading about is up and coming. They're not like well established. So
50,000 a year their budget is.
What's their budget?
50,000.
They all play because they don't play baseball over there. They play cricket.
how much more could it cost to just make the font like twice as large?
2026 World Baseball Classic, we'll have to see. What if they just come out with like the Great Britain flag across it or something? What if they just like go all out? Because you're right. I think they did kind of just go to customink.com and get that thing screen printed real quick.
Anything could be better than that.
TheSun.com. MLB fans want to report a crime as Great Britain World Baseball Classic uniforms dubbed as the ugliest ever. Oh man, that's brutal.
I don't know if they're ugly. I just think they're plain.
They're boring. They're the most boring jersey in baseball.
It's just literally Times New Roman.
They did better than I thought. Yeah, like your guy Vance Worley struck out Mike Trout. Like for a country that's not known for playing baseball, to have a team full of guys do pretty good, I'll take that.
Maybe Mike Trout was scared of like Vance Worley of the Ghost Pass. He's like, I grew up watching this guy pitch for the Phillies. He was number 5 in the rotation, Jack, right? And their team was loaded. And he was 5, and everyone's like, oh, it's Vance Worley. And he was like dominant that year.
Yeah, it was like when I was in middle school. I just remember he had the goggles. That's how I remembered him.
But it was like the loaded roster was like Cole, Hamels, Roy Halladay, Roy Oswalt, and
that was Joe Blanton. Joe Blanton was the 5th? Because I just remember for some reason I hated Joe Blanton.
Of course.
Like,
then he had a home run.
I don't know why. I knew nothing about him. It was just 10-year-old me just despised Joe Blanton.
He probably tried to buy his used jersey for, thought it would be $10 and it was $100.
I have Roy Oswalt's jersey. I wanted the unique, cool jersey, so I got a Roy Oswalt jersey. That was mine. And then I went to the nearest flea market and got a Harry Callis iron-on patch.
That's commitment.
Justin, get back a hold of the show. I'm sorry that Jack and I are derailing your show.
No, I was just going to say, like, who the last pitcher to have back-to-back 21 seasons was? Roy Oswalt. Fun fact. Last pitcher. Hasn't been done in, like, 20 years. But we can stick with the Phillies, though, because that's a pretty good segue. That, like, talking about the World Baseball Classic, and Trey Turner's just been, like, white hot. He's not even red hot. He's white hot at the plate. He had that big go-ahead grand slam against Venezuela. He had 2 homers against Cuba. Tonight, he had 1 off Japan. Like, for a guy that's, he's a speedster. He's not necessarily a power hitter in the 9-hole of these lineups. Like as Phillies fans, plural, how much confidence does that give you guys in the team this year, knowing that Trey Turner is going to be locked in?
Everyone has raved about this guy, and we are so jacked up as Phillies fans. Of course, opening day when his name gets announced, the place is going to go crazy. It would have gone crazy anyway, but now Philly gets their appetizer for him instead of like him hitting him a home run into Frenchies in Clearwater. It's like him being Captain America. So really excited for see what he's going to do, especially with Bryce being down. You got some superstar power into the lineup. It's a short porch, left field and right field in Philly. It's a home run hitter's park. So yeah, we're jacked up. And I just think, again, with Bryce being out, giving him Bryce peace of mind because the roster is even better than it was last year. It's better pitching, better hitting. Bryce can take some more time to heal up and get right. So hopefully he comes back healthy and adds some, injection into the team. This was not a good team in the regular season last year, very average, and then got extremely hot in the playoffs. So I'm excited to see what they can do in the regular season, put themselves in a better situation for the playoff run.
I love it. Jack?
Yeah, I think the biggest news regarding the Phillies is just the combination of that and then Larry Boa going out on Sports Talk Radio today and saying that Bryce could be back sooner than expected. And they're not. And then I think it was Dombrowski said they're not putting him on the 60-day just to keep that optionality, flexibility, whatever that may entail. The combination of that with Trey Turner has sent this city into, we're going back and winning it all. Like, it's no question. I think the Phillies fans seeing a third of America's batting order being their team, and it should have been almost half if their best player wasn't undergoing recovery from surgery. I think that just, and plus their pitching order, they got the guy coming, I think his name's Painter or whatever, the youth guy. I mean, it's the second most exciting team in Philadelphia right now.
When is the next World Baseball Classic? Is it every 2 or 4?
Every 3, actually. So 2026.
That should be an every other year thing. No, that's a bummer.
Yeah, 3 is an odd number. I don't know why they did it like that.
No pun intended. Yes, but but Bryce, they'll probably all still be in the lineup. JT, God willing, injuries. JT, Bryce, and Trey Turner. Probably another Philly at that point in time. They'll pay for somebody else.
I mean, I would imagine at that point would it be Adley in place of JT?
I wouldn't mind seeing Adley be Captain America in 3 years.
No, Bryce.
At catcher.
I want Bryce.
Well, I saw last thing on the Phillies, and we'll talk college ball. The Fangraphs, which does projections every single year, and they're probably almost all the time wrong. They said the Phillies are going to win 85 games this year, and they're going to be behind the Braves with 93 and the Mets with 91.
I don't care about. Is that what the over/under is?
No, that's just what they had their projected team total win at.
Jack, look up the over/under for the season. Not that we were gambling then, but for those that are listening, people are going to be curious, especially all the Philly fans listening, what that over/under is. There's no way. I bet you that it's at 90s. It's a good point. I mean, what is that fan thing, Justin?
It's Fangraphs is it's like Baseball Reference, where it's like a big stat analytic website where you can go look up they do roster projections. They do they get really nerdy with the baseball stats with the funky names. But then they also do this thing before every season where they're like, hey, we projected your team to win 75 games or something.
What about the Nats? What do the Nats have?
It's going to be really bad.
What do we got, Jack?
According to DraftKings Sportsbook, the Phillies win total the line is at 88.5.
Wow. Interesting number. Why would that number be that way? What's the highest number? Do we know? Dodgers.
I'm looking right here. It's
Mets.
The
Drum roll,
I just saw 94. The Braves are 94.5. The Mets are 91.5. It's not I gotta scroll. It's not set in numerical.
No, you're fine,
order.
Jay. That's right at your numbers though. What you're saying with your little fan deal.
The Nationals is 65 wins is projected.
Leading the win totals is the Astros and Dodgers at 95.5 each.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, that sounds about right. The Phillies in the regular season are probably, 8 wins behind them, 6, 7 wins behind them. Interesting. Okay.
I just worry about having a slow start. You need Bryce. Is there a Phillies pitcher that just had to get Tommy John surgery or something?
No. So that was the fear, I think, with Painter was that it was going to be in that ligament, but it was just a minor sprain that he was going to be out of month.
Okay.
I'm excited to watch the O's this year, Justin. Big time. As a
Napa
resident. I mean, that team is trending in the right direction. I had an Uber driver the other day when we got back from London. I'm like, oh, your O's, man, going to be a big year. He went off. I mean, all day. He went the whole ride, 30 minutes from BWI to Annapolis. I mean, every pitcher, every player, they have capital to trade, blah, 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 everything. It's going to be a fun year.
It is. And the last thing on this is I want to give a shout out to the Orioles social team. They've been doing these clips with Adley Rutschman and Kyle Stowers with the little mini mics. I don't know if you've seen these making the rounds. I might have retweeted one.
Yeah.
Where they're just go-to karaoke song and can you sing a little bit? And just they're doing the bottle flip challenge and all these weird, irreverent, social media, little microphone and mini interviews or whatever. And it just shows their personality, and they're all really funny and well put together. So I wanted to give a shout out to them because I've stopped to watch every single one of them. And as fans, I think it's cool to know that these guys do have personalities. They're all 24 years old somehow. And it's going to be a fun year. So I thought that was my last little Orioles thing.
It's good stuff. O's.
Yeah. Go O's.
O's. Natty Bows and O's.
Natty Bows and O's. Going to pickles after. We interrupt this episode to bring you a word from the official sponsor of Not For Long Media and the Breaking Bats podcast, the Original Fudge Kitchen. It is a staple of the Jersey Shore with 6 locations in Cape May, Wildwood, North Wildwood, Stone Harbor, and Ocean City. The Original Fudge Kitchen makes all of their fudge in-store guaranteeing a delicious product, so stop by and let them know that Not For Long Media and Breaking Bats sent you. Check them out online at fudgekitchens.com as they are shipping fudge and sweet treats all across the country. Now back to the episode. All right. College baseball time. We're going to do, I like the way we did this the last time, Colin, when we did team of the week, player of the week, stadium of the week, we're just a bunch of things of the week. And I have a couple of things to go along with each one of those, but I want Colin to be in the driver's seat on this one. I want Colin to start with his team of the week, and then we can go around and talk a little college ball.
Well, there's a couple things to unpack here for me because I've been able to go to the Navy baseball game, so that's been a blast. But the team of the week for me this week is Wake Forest. And this is a team I just been kind of following here. They're number 2 in the country now. They won their first 13 games. They just won a huge series against Notre Dame. Big series coming up versus Miami and Clemson. Obviously, that's ACC play. Tommy Hawk, 82 at bats. He's hitting a 439 average. The dude is balling. And then Brock Wilken, 13 home runs leading the team. So I like where the team's at. They're a fun team to watch. Obviously, LSU can be the team of the week every week. So they're absolutely loaded for me in the team of the week. Wake Forest.
I like it. My team of the week, and this is because I saw a really cool clip of this over the weekend. It's the UCF. It's UCF baseball. They've won 5 in a row. And the clip that really made me see them and just like check in on how they're doing was on like Saturday, March 18th. Like their third baseman, Andrew Brait, game-winning grand slam or like a go-ahead grand slam against Dartmouth. And I was like, wow, these guys are red hot. 5 in a row. Check them out. American Athletic Conference legends, UCF. Gold.
AAC.
Is it what kind of Knights are they? Or are they just the Knights?
The Knights.
Yeah, Knights.
So that is mine. Jack, did you have a team that you've had your eye on?
Yes, the Texas Longhorns are my team of the week. They are back. They have rallied off. They're on a win streak right now.
Back.
8-game win streak. They've taken down Manhattan, which is coached by former Penn State Abington head coach manager Dave Miller. And then North Dakota State, New Orleans. They've got Incarnate Word today, which looks like it might have been postponed because it was supposed to be played at 6:30 and there's no stats for it yet. But
that's college ball for you.
They've just have been killing it. They started off weak. They're 14-7 now. Longhorns are making a push.
The Jack Connell of Texas baseball fell asleep at the wheel and the stats. Sorry, I had to go watch the Penn State Abington game on ESPN3.
Oh, wait. And so it turns out they didn't show on the website. It's the live stats. They're beating Incarnate Word 11-4 in the top of the 6th.
Oh, the big Tuesday night games. Because of my schedule, right? I can get up in the morning and have coffee and like I don't have to go to work, right? I work out at whatever, 10, 11, 12, do the podcast stuff. So I pop on replays the night before college baseball and just watch them. It's great. It's fantastic. I know I feel like an old man doing that, but I love it. I'm all in on I love this segment. It's tremendous. What else we got, Jay? I'm jacked up.
That ESPN Plus subscription coming in clutch at the Thompson house.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry. I know it's $1 million subscription. NFL budget around here, what's that, $8 a month? Killing me over here. That and Peacock. Gotta watch my Spurs.
The next thing I had was just like player of the week. I found a really cool one, but Colin, we'll start with you.
Player of the week for me is Brandon Sprout. And before we make this for the clip, Sprout, Sproat, Sprout.
We're going to get made fun of either way. Tennessee baseball fans are still mad at me for mispronouncing Chase Dolander.
Player of the week for me is Brandon Sprout, pitcher, Florida Gators. 5th start of the season, produced one of the greatest pitching performance in the history of the Gators program against Bama. This was last weekend on March 16th. Complete game, 1 hit shutout, and really the 1 hit was a single in the second. He walked 2, a career high 11 batters retired to strike out. I mean, the guy's an absolute beast. 106 pitches is a lot for a college pitcher to complete the full outing, and just an absolute beast and a big win, 3-0 versus the Crimson Tide. So for me, the player of the week is Brandon Sprout, an absolute stud pitching appearance for him. And the Gators are really shooting up and now are 3rd in the country. When people I talk to were saying, I don't know how the year's going to go. The bats are hot. No one scares me in the lineup. Not so fast. Really, after that Miami series, a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. Gator baseball is trending in the right direction, 3rd in the country.
I love it. Chomp, chomp. My player of the week, it's also in the SEC. It's their hated rival. It's Ethan Petrie of the South Carolina Gamecocks. In a 4-game week capped off, they swept Georgia on the road. Petrie went 9 for 16 with 3 home runs and 7 ribs. And in the opener of the Georgia series, 4 for 4 with 2 home runs. This guy's batting .458 on the season with 9 homers and 31 RBIs. I think he's an infielder. I also might have seen him listed as pitcher. So if that's the case, that's awesome. But I want to give a shout out. Go Cox.
All right. My player of the week, we are going to move from the SEC to the United East Conference from Division III baseball. We're going to Brandon Hightower is my player of the week. Brandon Hightower is one of only 2 players in the entire NCAA D1, D3 with a 0.0 ERA with 20+ innings pitched. He has 27 strikeouts in 20 innings pitched, and he has been killing it this year as a starter for Penn State Abington. Have to give my boy some props. Listen, just even without the Penn State Abington connection, he's killing it.
That's 5 Penn State Abington shout-outs in one 24-minute show. All right, continue, Jay. What do we got? Congrats to you, buddy. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm happy for him. Making fun of Jay.
There are still more coming. I hope you realize this.
That's good. It's fine. I'm a Navy baseball guy, so be ready for that. That's coming soon.
I had this as moment of the week, but Colin, you may have added what did you want to call this instead of moment? Just like
no, I put it moment of the week.
Oh, you put it as moment? Okay. Well, what's your moment of the week?
Yours was news of the week. The moment of the week for me was, and it was really cool to go to this game. We live right near the Navy baseball stadium, 15-minute walk from the house. So it is bottom of the 6th, Navy baseball, Bucknell, Patriot League action. Love it. Beautiful day in Annapolis, overlooking the Severn River and the Academy. Little Navy baseball, so much fun. It's 6-6, 6-5, bottom of the 6th. Colin Smith ties the game up with a bomb shot, wind blowing out. Awesome. Next inning, again, 6-6. It is the first game of a doubleheader, so they play 7 innings. Okay? It is bases loaded. 6-6. Top of the 7th. And who comes to the mound? Brock Murtha. Okay. Bases loaded. This isn't some pitcher they're bringing in from the pen. This is the third baseman. They bring the third baseman in because they're playing 4 games in 2 days or 3 days. They bring the third baseman in. Shout out to my man, Brock Murtha. Full count, strikes the guy out. Navy baseball goes nuts. Absolutely nuts. Next inning, bottom of the 7th, Henry Mitchell steps up. Boom, Yahtzee, home run, walk-off. So Navy baseball entertaining as hell, 7-6, walk-off, with a man coming off third base with the bases loaded who didn't even pitch and struck the guy out. Unbelievable finish and moment of the week for me.
Damn. It was not even a pitcher, just the third baseman.
Third baseman. Patriot League ball, baby.
That's incredible. Mine's not like a singular moment. It's like a 3-game series that I was reading about. It goes to Vanderbilt baseball. We hear all this talk about this is LSU's year. LSU runs college baseball. But Vanderbilt over the weekend reminded everybody that they're still the elite of the elite because they swept the Ole Miss Rebels. The Ole Miss was one of the best offensive teams in the country, and in a 3-game set, Vanderbilt outscored them 27-4. So Vanderbilt's pitching's red hot right now, and the bats came alive too. So shout out to Vandy boys because they just want they want to remind everybody that they can still play ball too. So that's kind of my 3-game series week moment, whatever you want to call it. Jack, what's Penn State Abington up to?
Yes. So my moment of the week, I don't know how to phrase it because it technically didn't occur in college, but it is massive for Division III college baseball. So Ryan McCarty, who had the NCAA Triple Crown this past season, led pretty much all of Division I, Division III, every single hitting statistic. He signed with the Blue Jays. He's been part of their organization. He's been with the team for spring training. They brought him up. He had an RBI single off Aaron Nola this past week. So he has been killing it for Toronto and is quickly rising up the ranks there and showing the entire world, doesn't matter what division you play in college baseball, you got a shot at the pros. So I thought that was massive for Division III. Again, regardless of my affiliation, but that is my moment of the week.
Good stuff, Jack.
Cool. Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up. Actually, no, we have a couple more. Stadium of the week.
Look no further than Terwilliger Brothers Field at Max Bishop Stadium. Full salute to the midshipmen at Navy. This stadium is awesome. It really is. Again, I walk to it. We've gone to a game once a week. We've gone to 3 or 4 games. It's been great. Whether we go for an inning or we go for multiple, it's really cool. They just started selling beer at the stadium. Fun fact. They also have a fan club of parents that are getting after it. I mean, Blackstone, grills, smokers. You look up in the stands, they got food up in the stands, the top row. There's a whole little section right next to the field there. There's like picnic tables that are like for the stadium seating. There's a whole standing area that's like a platform that we stand on and look right down onto the field. You're looking at the church on beautiful Navy's campus, and then you're looking at the Capitol building right to your right. Turf field with the dirt base pads. I got some really cool information. The Nats played there a couple of years ago, and the Nats stepped up and kind of made the field MLB regulated. They repadded the walls, put dirt at the bases. So I think it's a really cool stadium. It's quaint. It's quiet. It's right on the Severn. It's a great location to walk from town. You got the people, the crew teams rowing right by the field. It's just something about it. And the Patriot League's cool. So you got a bunch of games during the week. If you're in Annapolis for the weekend, check out the stadium. I think you're really going to like it.
Always wanted to go, driven past it a million times. Gonna have to do it this year. This is gonna have to be the year. I didn't realize like it was that cool. And they serve Miller Lite there too. So it literally has it all. I like that. Well, yours is Navy baseball. My stadium of the week, it's gonna go to Tucker Field at Barcroft Park, the home of the George Washington University Colonials. I went to my first game there a couple Saturdays back, hung out in the press box, walked around. It's one of the nicest stadiums, I think, in the A10 is what they said. It's been renovated a ton in the last like 5-10 years. So they have like a new clubhouse and the field is brand new, and it's it's just like a brand new 500 seat. Like it's a good time. So it's not in the district. It is in Arlington. So it's not that conveniently located to where the school is. But if you catch a bus or drive out there to a game, it's a fun time. So I wanted to give a shout out to GW. Jack.
We will. All right. So this isn't Penn State Abington, but we are staying in Division III. It is the Muncie Bank Ballpark at the historic Bowman Field, which is the second oldest minor league stadium in baseball, but it's the home of Penn College out in Williamsport. So a lot of the events that you would see in Williamsport relate to Little League World Series, not necessarily Little League World Series, but like if there's concurring MLB events, like I think like the Phillies played a game there 2 or 3 years ago, they play at that field. Beautiful stadium, beautiful field. It's just an incredible spot, one of the most historic places in baseball. And it's just a real niche spot that I don't think many people know about besides the field that they don't actually play on, which is the Little League World Series.
Great stuff, Jack.
I like that. Jersey of the week is, I think this might be the last one here as we kind of wrap up. Some fun ones. Colin, what's yours?
Yeah, we had to add the jersey of the week, Justin, because I've come obsessed with college baseball jerseys. Why not? They're unbelievable. They're cool. If you go to fanatics.com, shout out to Jack's favorite website, and check them out. There's some really cool ones on there for sale and just really good stuff. I love them. So the jersey of the week for me this week is the Carolina Blue North Carolina Tar Heels jersey. It is a beautiful, beautiful jersey. There's tons. I didn't know what to pick and where to start because I own 3 of them, and I didn't even name one because I don't own a Carolina Blue jersey. But the Carolina Blue Tar Heels jersey is my jersey of the week this week.
It's the best color in sports. Like Carolina Blue, it's just like it looks good on literally everything. It goes with literally everything. That's a great pick. I'm going to stick in that same realm. I'm going to go with the Tulane powder blue. It's got twin pelicans on the bat, so it looks like the St. Louis Cardinals uniforms. Just like that powder blue with like the green pinstripes. It's just, you wouldn't think that powder blue and green would look great together, but they do somehow. So I wanted to give a shout out to Tulane. I will have to check out fanatics.com and see if I can't get one.
I'm making the jump back to Division I into the SEC with Ole Miss. Specifically, I'm just a sucker for the powder blue on red. Like the Cardinals alternate / throwback, I think. Well, I don't know what that would be considered. It's one of my favorite jerseys in the MLB. The Phillies, obviously, a little bit different shades there, but the Ole Miss, that bright red on the baby blue, the football version of it is incredible. So those are mine. They got the nice red helmet and the red Ole Miss text on the baby blue. It's perfect. I don't even know what I could change to it. That is my jersey of the week.
I think we as a unit just like powder blue.
We just went all powder blue right there. I love it. The
People
blue
are gonna be
wave,
like, Yeah.
I think the powder blue will throw you off a little bit when you go to New Orleans and you go to the green wave and everything's like green, 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 like that that forest green, excuse me. And then you like look and you're like, oh, there's powder blue in there. There's like yellow and there's like funky colors there. But that's a cool little campus. They have a bar in the end zone there of the football stadium, a glass bar. You can like sit and it's like bulletproof glass so you can like run into it when you play. Cool little baseball stadium. It's good stuff. Love the American Athletic Conference. It's a shame the really good teams are leaving it, but hey, it's a good chance for these schools that are doing well, like a Charlotte, to step in and join the conference.
I didn't even know that. Yeah, I always wanted to go to New Orleans, but going to Tulane, just feel like that would be a really, really cool experience. Watch any of their sports play. All right, guys. Well, that was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed talking a little college ball and a little World Baseball Classic. Looking forward to the next time we all three can hop back on and do this again. So I really appreciate you guys being on.
It's the best. Thank you, Justin. And we really appreciate you having us on your show.